This is Bob from Love Beyond The Sea. Mabuhay. I'm going to continue this part 2 here of some comments I have, responses to MGTOW philosophy, men going their own way. That movement is still alive, where people are telling their kids not to marry, and they're proud of not being married. And wow, I just think somebody needs to push back. And as a marriage advocate, and my channel is, pro-marriage, I wanted to throw my 2 cents out there. So I've been talking about some comments that I've heard that I want to respond to. One of them would be, there's a lot of talk about alpha males, how alpha males do not get married and don't need to get married. And I think alpha males are the ones that should get married and take care of their wife, take care of their family, work long, work hard, save and invest smartly and wisely, and protect and provide for a wife and a family. What else are they going to do? Just live for themselves, take advantage of women? That doesn't do any good. Another comment is that there's change after women have children. Well, my wife, we haven't been able to have children, so I can't speak personally, but I do know there are hormonal changes after a woman gets a certain age, but also when she has children, her whole life, I'm sure, changes, and her focus becomes largely her children, and I think that's just kind of normal. I know men decry not getting the sexual intimacy they may have been used to having before she had children, and like anything, that's something to research and something to talk to your wife about, that you still need that, and I guess give her some patience to get used to the idea that she still has a husband and she still needs to take care of that part of his life. But this change, whatever, I'm sure there's going to be some change after she has children. For example, whether it's after children or not, some men, MGTOWs, will say after you get married, you're not going to get sex. Evidently, they've had marriage or had sex before marriage from this woman, and now they get married and the sex is gone. Maybe she doesn't have any incentive to. She's already trapped him and enticed him to marry her, and so now she doesn't have to be sexually active. All I can say is, research continues to show that married people have more satisfied, fulfilling, and frequent sex than people that are not married. And, the area of sex is so critical in marriage. It has to be talked about before marriage, and it has to be continued to be talked about in marriage, because if the husband and wife are not coming together as often as they both need it, the Bible talks about Satan tempting us for our lack of natural self-control, which is a good reason to get married in the first place. And so you should be able to continue to get sex. I think that's just a matter of letting your needs be known and communicating it, and maybe counseling. Counseling maybe has to get involved. That's always a good idea, to get marital counseling. It doesn't mean you're an idiot or you're weak. It just means you're wise. Marital counseling, mentoring, great idea. Another comment here, people say, well, I can do better things with my time if I'm not married anymore, or I never get married. And what better things? Most likely, they'll spend time doing things for themselves. Men, I heard the other day, they take care of others. Boys take care of themselves. Focusing on yourself will lead to a very empty and unfulfilled life, I think. And by the way, please subscribe and leave a comment here to Love Beyond the Sea, again, marriage-minded men channel. kind of kicking against the goads out there in society, but that's all right. I just want to get my, take out there. Can do better things. Well, there were times in my life before I got married when I got into some periods where I felt I was very productive, but then the frustration of being alone and, sexually unfulfilled can get the better of you. And then it's like, well, this isn't going to last. It's good for a while, but it'd be better to be married. Don't have to worry about that. Shouldn't have to worry about that in marriage. I think more meaningful and purposeful things are most likely done when you are married. And it might seem like, wow, your children, your wife, well, that's very, very, very purposeful and significant, in my opinion. Lead. I wrote a note down here about leading. I mean, when you get married, the leadership has to start. I suppose it continues. I mean, from dating, you should be leading the person you marry, your fiance, so that she's prepared for marriage to you. The leading has to continue. Any time you take your foot off the gas and you get complacent and you stop leading and you stop dating and you start taking it for granted, then your marriage is probably going to stagnate. And so it's just a day by day by day thing, in my opinion, investing yourself into the relationship. Again, marriage is not easy. Many people have been divorced multiple times. Some of them try to seek marriage again, and some don't. However, I think you get out of it what you put into it. Sounds pretty simplistic, but I don't see any reason that statement can't pertain to marriage. No, somebody mentioned a comment, we're talking about sexual intimacy. You might get it once a month. Married and once a month. Well, I think if you're like 80, 85 years old, maybe once a month is realistic, but, if that's what they both want, great, fine. But if one of them, either one, needs it and wants it more than that, then they should be getting that. And so I'm going to stop here because I just see that I have too much to cover in the next 2 minutes and 15 seconds. And so I'm talking about my thoughts to MGTOW. It's still a thing, men going their own way, which is away from the very normal life of marriage. And so I'll continue and wrap up this, what will be a 3-part video series on my, retort or response to MGTOW philosophy right here on Love Beyond the Sea.